Hello guys and welcome to this evening's update. In this video we're going to be looking at Tropical Depression 4W in the Western Pacific. I took a few days off from doing these videos because I needed the time off with family and stuff. So we're back here and we're going to start off with one video a day going forward. But anyways, I thought I would tell you what was going on. But we're also here to talk about Tropical Depression 4W. And as you can see here, it's located 6.6 north, 133.8 east. Maximum sustained winds are at 30 knots or 35 miles an hour. Minimal center pressure is at 1,002 millibars. All right, so here's what the Joint Typhoon Warning Center has. And it wants to take this all the way up to a Category 1 typhoon, which is like 80 miles an hour here. I think that's what 70 knots is. Once again, I always explain this. I'm not very good with knots, so I do believe that 70 knots is 80 miles an hour. So um, I do personally believe this cone is a little bit too far to the east. I do think the Philippines are a little bit more at risk for this system than the Joint Typhoon Warning Center gives to them. But we'll see what happens throughout time, and we're going to see what the GFS and European has to say about that. Okay, so here's the GEFS tracks and minimal MSLP, and as you can see, it's all over the place. These are all the spaghetti. If I can talk, this is all the spaghetti models here, and as you can see, they're all over the place. Some are strong, some are weak, but this black line here, this is the average of everything, and we got a starting millibar here of 1,003 millibars, and it goes to 999, and it kind of peaks out here, and then weakens back to 1,000. Then it starts to strengthen again as it turns northeast. And we got 997 millibars, 994 millibars. So there are some indications that there's some of these spaghetti models that want to take it down to 970, 960 millibars. So that's a pretty decent storm there. All right, well, let's take a look at the GEPS, and these are a lot more together than the GEFS is, but as you can see, this one is a lot farther east than the GFS, but also a lot faster and stronger when it comes to the GEPS. As you can see, starting line here is 1,007 millibars. This is the average, by the way. 996 millibars, 992, 992, 991. So it strengthens uh, gradually, so to speak, as we go out through time. All right, so here is the look at the long floater here. And as you can see, it's starting to get together pretty good here. As you can see, there's this little blob right here. I can't really tell if it's a part of the system or its own separate entity. Um, but I'm gonna have to look at that once I'm done with this video. And it's looking pretty good for a tropical depression. As you can see, it's starting to wrap that convection around the center here. So once that gets going, we're going to start seeing a strengthening system. I don't know about rapid intensification, but we're going to see some pretty modest strengthening out of this system, and we might see a typhoon out of this. It looks like it's moving due west, so you can see the start of the Philippine Islands here, and this is definitely going to have some impacts. I don't know if it's going to be a direct landfall, but I think there's going to be some impacts with this system, going to the Philippines here. Okay, so here's the GEFS, and as you can see, this was initialized at 18Z. This is 6 hours out, so as you can see, this is our system right in here, I believe. Let's stick out the wind shear here. Wind shear, we're looking at 26 knots, so it's not really favorable for the rapid development. So there we go. We're at 24 hours. We got a low pressure system. We got 1,001 millibars. I don't think that the 18Z run is picking up on what it actually is right now. I do think overnight it'll do a better job of picking this up, as it pretty much became a tropical depression during these runs and stuff. So we'll see what it happens over the overnight runs. And as you can see here, this is going out for 16 knots of shear, so it's starting to get favorable for development here 48 hours, 1,001 millibars. It's still rather weak, but I do expect this to change with the next upcoming coming GFS runs. As you see, we're dealing with 14 knots of shear. 72 hours. It starts to make its way north, just missing the Philippine Islands. Um, as you can see here, there is 10 knots of shear, so this is pretty favorable for development here. 96 hours, and as you can see, it just kind of disappears out of thin air. I'm gonna go 7 days out with this one, just to get the scope of it. It's only working with 8 knots, but there's absolutely nothing there. 120 hours. As you can see, the other system is starting to get itself together, but we're not looking at that right now. We're looking at TD4. So 144. It doesn't, the GFS. There's nothing there. This is 6 days. What's here? 168. Yeah, the GFS doesn't have it going any farther than like 4 or 5 days out. But this is going to be a discussion for another video, because this video is solely on Tropical Depression 4 right now. So tomorrow, if this gets designated, Tropical Depression, by tomorrow, we'll take a look at it. But for now, we're only looking at Tropical Depression 4 for the next couple of days until the next one actually develops. And the GFS is hinting at a pretty, powerful cyclone with that one. Okay, so here's the European, or the ECMW for short, and this was initialized at 12Z. There's 24 hours, and as you can see, the system is pretty. It's getting. This is definitely stronger than the GFS. 48 hours, as you can see, it's starting to make its northward descent, and it's a 997 millibars. 72 hours, it's making this pretty close pass to the Philippines at 1,001. 96 is starting to strengthen a little bit, 999 millibars, and just east to the northern Philippine Islands. So I do expect you guys to get some impacts. I don't know if it's going to be direct or not, but you guys should feel some impacts, going forward. There's 6 days, and then it reappears. I don't know if that's a different system or not. I'm assuming that's still Tropical Depression 4, at the 7 day mark. So it comes back with a vengeance with a 994 millibar, system. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how this all evolves, throughout, time. I'll definitely be here to keep you guys updated on that. All right, so here's the sea surface temperatures. I know a lot of people don't use sea surface temperatures, but if somebody can find me a NOAA sea surface temperature chart, I will start using that from now on. If people, don't want me using CDAS, if it has like a cold bias or a warm bias, please just let me know, and I wanna make sure that everything is to the satisfactory of my viewers, so they get the best information I can possibly give them. Anyways, as you can see here near the Philippine Islands, we have 30 and 31 degree temperatures. We even got some 32s popping up in there too. So it has plenty of warm water to work with as we go out through time. Um, as it goes farther north, it still got these warm waters here. It's not going to be until farther up here, near like the 30 line, that it's going to start experiencing colder water. So, if the wind shear is right and the water temperatures are warm, I don't see why this can't, strengthen into a typhoon. I don't know if it's going to be a super strong typhoon, but the Joint Typhoon Weather Center, definitely sees a typhoon out of this. So maybe we might get a slight, maybe low wind typhoon out of this, So I'll definitely keep you posted. Philippines, you're probably going to get some impacts, probably indirect impacts, whether that be rain showers and gusty winds, or a direct impact, strong gusty winds, heavy rain, storm surge, and all that. I'll definitely keep you guys posted on all that. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.